Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a coil cylinder. So you already learned how to use pinch. The next technique is going to be creating coils to create a cylinder. So you can see that this entire cylinder is made out of coils. It is not one singular coil, but rather multiple coils. So the way that we're going to start this is this. You're going to get a piece of clay approximately this big. Okay, so you can see it's not that much, it's smaller than my hand. Okay, that's all we really need to start off with. And what we're going to do is I actually break it apart into a couple more pieces. I put that inside of a plastic bag to make sure the other part into a plastic bag to make sure it doesn't dry out on me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the clay. So I start to squeeze the clay around like this, so it starts to create a cylinder. It's a pretty sloppy one, but that's where I want to begin with. Now you'll notice it starts to get pretty long, so I break it in half again. Okay? Then I'm going to put that part off to the side here. Now, when rolling a cylinder, you don't want to just use when rolling a coil, a coil, you don't want to use just the fingertips. You basically want to go from the fingertip down to the top of the palm of your hand or to the bottom of the palm of your hand. So you want to be using at least this much of your hand or this much. Okay? Couple things, common mistake is if you just use this part of the hand like this, it creates an oval. You don't want an oval, you want a coil. A coil is round. So I go from the middle and I go, if you notice, this is becoming round. That's what I want. I want it to be about the thickness of my pinky. So I'm always going to be comparing to that. That's a little bit too thick. So I come in from the middle and I start rolling towards the outside. And you notice I start to get a good coil going, right? Pretty even all the way throughout. That's what I'm going for. This is a little bit too long, so I'm going to break it in half. Move that off to the side over here. And I'm going to make this one a little bit longer. This is where I want to start off with. This is my first coil. Now from here, once I've made my first coil, now I'm going to actually create a base. And it looks like this. That's what I'm going to make. So to do that, I start off and I start rolling the coil towards the other end. Just like so. Pretty easy, right? Now you'll notice that that's not that big. So I come in here, I put a little angle on that, moved it off to the side, grab my other coil. I'm going to roll. I'm going to make it a little bit longer, as even as I can. If it breaks in the middle, that's fine. I move it off to the side. Bring this back. Notice that angle there. Come in here and I match it up. Now I keep going and I roll around until I get a good size. Notice that's still a little bit too small. So I take my other one and I add it on. Pretty simple. Okay? Want this about the width of my palm. Alright, that's about how big I'm making it. From here, if I were to pick this up here, it's going to fall apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab my wood sculpting tool, also known as a wood knife, and I'm going to use this end right here that's curved. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to pull towards the outside, smoothing as I go. And what this is going to do is it's going to keep my coils together. Now, if you'll notice, I'm holding the coil down towards the outside edge, and I'm doing that so that way I don't pull and separate the coils. This is important. This is how I'm making my base. I can come in from the outside in to make sure I don't pull the outside coils away from the core. Keeping it flat as I go. This is going to be the inside of my cylinder. Once I have this, my next step is going to be to smoothen, because I want to make sure that this is nice and clean. Dip into the water. There we go. Use my finger, and I'm just going to smoothen it out pretty easily. That's my base. That's step number one. If you notice, there's my coils just like that, smooth on the inside. I'm going to flip this over, and if you look on the inside, you can see that it's smooth. Got it? The next video is going to be how to build up. Okay?